particle thing. Eventually, the energy in that photon is carried up through the interior of the Sun until finally it emerges. It then makes its way to Earth and to our solar panel for producing electricity. And now you know the trick that makes fusion produce energy. If you fuse two atoms together, then the amount of energy needed to hold the new bigger atom together is less than the total energy that was needed to hold the original atoms together.
Temperatures me, no matter where he's from, hot to cold, how it's done. Radiation heat, it goes through the skies. Convection fluids rise, it's where the heat supply. Don't get too close, you touch the fire. Convection heat goes by, three-way.
Alright, here we go. The sun shines. It heats a collector full of fluid. The heated fluid is then pumped through these pipes and into your home's hot water tank, where it heats the water you use in the shower and sink. When the sun isn't shining, a backup system powered by the utility grid is activated. A notable new product from Next Generation.
Searching for the thrill of it. Say that it's love, but to me it's looking counterfeit. I get done with one and move right on to another bit. Yeah. College educated, she graduated. Any bill she can't front, her parents paid it. The show was far, you the only one with a car, your girlfriends.
Bulk insulation bats mainly resist the transfer of conducted and convected heat. It's made up of millions of fibres which are poor heat conductors. The fibres crisscross each other to form tiny air cells which slow down the transfer of heat. Reflective wraps, or membranes as they are increasingly becoming known, mainly resist radiant heat flow, but also offer a barrier to the outside elements. They work together. The reflective insulation helps keep the house cool and acts as a second skin to the cladding and roof. And the bulk insulation acts in assisting the home to retain a comfortable internal temperature all year round and reduces the energy load cost.
Sunlight penetrates the gas layer of the atmosphere. It's partly absorbed and partly reflected, just like in a greenhouse. Small particles in the air ensure that a percentage of the reflected radiation is sent back to Earth. However, humans cause a lot of pollution by producing large amounts of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. The small particles increase in number, and the result is just like a greenhouse where the glass is too thick. So an increased amount of radiation is sent back to Earth, and the heat is unable to escape, causing temperatures to rise constantly on our planet.
Reflection. So this should look familiar. Law of reflection, where the angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection. But notice it doesn't matter if it's a smooth surface or a rough surface. Reflection is still equal on each side. This will give you a perfect mirrored image where you can see yourself really clearly. A rough surface is where you can kind of see that there's a slight image, that you can tell that there's something there, but you can't see any distinct lines at all. But you should notice that again, it comes in and reflects at the same angle. It comes in, reflects at the same angle. Comes in, reflects at the same angle. But this is why it's a blurred image, a blurred reflection, whereas this one is a perfect mirrored reflection. The next one is absorption. So here is an incident light. So this is red, green, and blue light. If you have a red filter, then it's going to absorb the green and absorb the blue. The reason why it appears red is because it only allows red to go through. So green and blue are absorbed. Here's just a diagram showing all three of what we just talked about. So reflected means it bounces perfectly off. So no energy gained. Transmission is where the energy is just moved from one side to the other. That's your glass. And then, of course, absorbed. Here, the energy stays within the object.
Waiting in the car, waiting for